You know how cat likes its steak?
Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day. Danny boy, oh Danny boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh Danny.
Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Of course, a little time traveler friend got that little video for me. That is what I hear is going to be in the green room tomorrow night. What, Dan?
Michael Barbeau, if you did take my invitation and watch this show, I apologize in advance for the sins we are about to commit.
Yeah. Got a full comment section kicked off early. Let's go back to Carl Witzman saying, yeah, on Joe Bachman's channel. We are using the guest destinations now.
Oh, is that what that? I wondered where the extra.
The guest can actually put in their Facebook and StreamYards,
yeah,
or YouTubes and whatever,
and Twitches.
Hi, Sarah.
And Donna's saying, "Hey guys, And then Carl says he's putting his like on before he gets dragged off by the cats.
Not the green room.
There's so many worse ways to go. Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I was going to run another video, but I was requested not to because some people may not think it's funny.
The SPCA might complain.
My question is, did
Yeah.
the cat land on its feet eventually?
Yeah.
I- They
Oh,
usually wind up landing on mine.
yep. So what's going on, guys?
Oh, 187 work days until retirement.
Now, would you believe I've not seen or heard from any of them all day till I hit play?
Of course.
I do believe Joe Dog has been summoned, and this time
Mhm.
it wasn't a Ouija board or a magic circle with a. We will not go there.
See, I want to do a wood burning of a Ouija board, but not the typical Ouija board. I don't want to talk to the spirits from the 1800s. I want the more modern spirits. I'm going to do it in a QWERTY keyboard format. But the wife keeps telling me that I can't.
And Rich missed all the good starts of the show tonight.
That's all right. We are being recorded.
Yeah. He has to go back and watch the replay.
Just the first couple minutes. Hi. Hmm. Yes, well, and on that note, let's move along.
Helps if I unmute the mic. So what were you going to go do in QWERTY keyboard format, Joe?
A Ouija board.
A modern a modern reinterpretation of a Ouija board.
Talker and my wife both say it's a bad idea. I don't see where it could go wrong.
Well, you got a trifecta.
I put that right on up there with the tile floor that's a Ouija board, and then you go out and buy one of those robot vacuum cleaners. Seems like a good idea until you open a portal in the middle of your living room.
No, actually, Joe, I think it'd be a great idea. The millennials can use a Ouija board at that point in time.
Isn't that called Twitter?
Oh, we're going to cause Rich to drink so much tonight.
You post on there, and it summons all kinds of demons. I mean, seriously.
Rich had to quit because he knew the spit was coming.
Well, no, it's Joe is saying that you guys are going to cause me to drink so much tonight, and I'm showing I'm starting off drinking.
That's why I get a head start before the show, or any day that ends in Y.
I miss those days.
You know, as long as I'm not having to come by and clean up the mess afterwards, yeah, go for it. Let them.
What? I figure it won't be one of those 1800 style demons that comes through. It'll be something a little more modern.
Something more Neil Gaiman, huh?
It'd be
and Rich is not buying my BS right now at all.
If you're lucky, you'd summon the ghost of Zuckerberg.
I've got the salt and the holy water and the fire ready.
Would I be wrong to say, damn, it would be nice if that was just a ghost?
Hey, guys, it's all fun and games till you need to call in the priest.
Especially when you're a Baptist. You're outsourcing.
Y'all look out because, a young priest and an old priest is quite expensive in today's market. But middle-aged minister is, right in your price range. You get the friends and family discount.
Of course, if you're a Southern Baptist and you want to get rid of demons, you just make a casserole.
Well, it depends on what's in the casserole. You may summon a few demons. I'm gonna have to find that on YouTube again. Somebody made a crystals casserole.
I've seen that, and it seems like a waste of a bunch of good crystals. But
Yeah, you buy a bunch of crystals and sort of break them up, and you cover them with cheese and.
Now, crystals is y'all's form of White Castle.
Castle. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we use the full patty. We don't cheat you out of meat down here.
Well, we use the full patty too. You just got to buy 4 of them to.
We are right on the border of the White Castle crystal demographic. So we can, if we drive about an hour north, we start seeing White Castles. So.
Yeah, there's a White Castle that opened up in the Nashville area, and about 6 months later, a block down the street, Crystal put in a new store.
Murfreesboro had a White.
Same store. They just had a big parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. White Castle uses what? Ketchup and pickle.
No, it's almost identical to a crystal.
Pickle and onion.
Yeah, pickle and onion. That's it.
Mustard.
You gotta request the ketchup and mustard.
See,
and they give you the packets instead of actually putting it on the burger.
Yeah.
No, Crystal automatically puts the mustard on there.
Yeah.
That good,
Or
healthy
it's not a
yellow
Crystal.
mustard from the imitation of the company with the foreign sounding name.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the one that people used to pull up on the side of the road next to another car and go, "Hey, have you got any of this?" And they go,
Pardon
"Yeah."
me. Wait. Hey, here we go, Dan. Pardon me. Do you have any grapey ones?
Why, yes, I do.
Look the
Would
other
you
way.
like-
Look the other way.
Not on my screen. I've got it reversed.
Well,
You
you're
got to remember.
me.
Yeah, you got to remember the Brady Bunch effect is different for everybody. So.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I like the idea of a crystal casserole. I could eat about half of it.
Yeah, but then you have to make a casserole. Right? Just buy cheese crystals. I mean,
Do they have the same effect that White Castles do on folks?
probably.
Worse.
Yeah.
There's
Because of
mustard.
the onions. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh,
So Joe Dog just enjoys the idea of weaponizing a casserole.
Yeah.
that's all right. Joe Dog weaponizes any food he eats.
This is the
Glass,
best stuff.
a glass of water could be a deadly weapon in Joe Dog's hand. I'll tell you, people, do not get on an elevator with this man. If you see him in an elevator, wait for one of the ones next to it, not the same one, to come back. Okay? Just word to the wise.
Yeah, you saw where I reposted that as a memory, didn't you?
Nope. I just remember it myself.
Hey, you know how you see the signs next to the elevator that says "In case of fire, take stairs"? Joe gets on the elevator, take the stairs.
That's okay, Joe Dog. You'll like the thing I just tagged you in on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I'm opening it up.
Mm. There were some folks that they were in England and they were doing reactions to American fast food, and they wanted desperately to try Taco Bell, and I had to give them my honest warning that Taco Bell tastes great. It's best consumed in the bathroom, sitting on the toilet, because you're going to be there quickly anyway. Why take the chance that that stall's going to be full when you really, really need it?
See, Taco Bell doesn't affect me that badly, but I think that's because of all the years I worked at Staples. We only had a half-hour lunch, and Taco Bell was right next door.
It
You
doesn't affect
developed
me
an
that
immunity.
I
quickly.
posted the crystal casserole recipe. It's a YouTube video. I posted it to Stupid Clock, but as I was scrolling, I found the White Castle casserole recipe as well.
Ooh.
But it's just a recipe. It's not a video or anything. So.
Now I watched another one of those today where the folks were going, "Oh yeah, we've got some American foods that people have sent us, and we got some recipes of American foods that we're going to try." And somehow or another, the husband said, "Well, I don't like seafood. I'm not fond of that." From the country of fish and chips, he don't like
Rich,
seafood.
Rich, read the first comment.
I was tempted to send him my recipe for oyster stew,
Mm.
which is about as innocuous as you can get. I mean, there's no heavy spices or anything in there. Salt, pepper, butter, oysters, milk, and if you want to get fancy, diced celery.
The comments did not get shared, just the memory itself.
Yep.
I don't know when they stopped doing that, because they used to share the comments as well, but the last couple times I've shared memories, it's not sharing comments either. So,
Oh, that stinks. Well, let me see.
pun intended.
Yeah, completely. No, that's not it. Come on.
Give him time. He's retired. His computer is full of stuff.
Yeah.
What's really fun is doing that, and an attorney that you don't like is stepping on the elevator, and you're just walking out, covering your mouth, going, "It's been in there since the 13th floor."
No, that was at a convention.
Go ahead and tell the story, Joe. Go ahead. I know you're dying to.
Oh, I love telling this story. I was having the rumblies. I mean, I was working the Hallowcon table down in the lobby of the function space lobby, and I had the grumbles and rumblies. Bathroom was right across the hallway. I'm thinking, hot dang, that's where I'm going. Full house, and there was a line, and somebody was homesteading.
This was the hotel that had, what, 15 floors?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we were on like the 12th. So I'm going, okay, this could get a little rough. I'm headed for the room. So as I'm in the elevator, they're popping. And it's getting to the point that, okay, yeah, okay.
It's getting closer to being more than warning shots.
Yes. And I'm to the point, I've got my nose at the crack catching the fresh air. And for some reason, thank God, I made no stops on the way up. But as the door opened on my floor, I see this crowd of teenagers, full cosplay, anime, getting ready to pile in. I said, "Excuse me," and ducked out the door. Thankfully, my room was the first door past the elevator. But as I they all piled in. As the doors closed, they're going, "Oh God, open it, open it, open it! Stop, stop!" And the door closed, and down they went. Then the first comment after that, when the actual thing, a guy named Gary Shelton, which I think Dan knows, and I'm sure John knows. His comment was, "I heard that screaming in the elevator."
Day after St. Patrick's Day.
Do
I
what?
brought leftovers. Said day after St. Patrick's Day. I brought leftovers. We do traditional boiled dinner, corned beef and cabbage in my family.
Yep.
Day after. So it's day old cabbage. Yeah. They were not happy.
That's not as bad as the gas station breakfast sausage burrito.
Oh dear God, those can be lethal.
But
It'd be safer to eat truck stop sushi.
Joe already knows what I'm talking about.
The worst one you'll ever do, okay, almost as bad as boiled eggs, okay, pickled sausage.
Uh-huh.
but my question to you, Joe Dog,
Yeah.
have you ever stopped at a truck stop, been in there, hear the door open, and all you hear is, "Nope, not today," and the door shuts and no one walks past the very first stall that you're sitting in?
Yep.
And you're the only person in there.
Yep. For me,
Yep.
that's Home Depot. Well, what happened with the gas station breakfast burrito, sausage breakfast burrito, is it was bad. I mean, it was so bad, I'm rolling down the window. And I had this guy riding with me, and he wanted to stop at a convenience store on the way out to the job site. I said, "Sure. You got to go to the bathroom, right?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, got to go to the bathroom." That's our excuse to stop. Well, while he's in the store getting what he needs, I crack my window about this much. His window's rolled up. He opens the door to the truck, which creates a vacuum. But with my window cracked,
You get the Venturi effect. Like a
It
carburetor.
sucks him right at it. Or sucks it right at him.
he just slams the door, and I can hear him gagging outside. He
You
crawls up in the
backdrafted
back.
him.
What?
You backdrafted him.
He crawls up into the bed of the truck, slaps on my window, and says, "Go."
It's safer back here.
Well, we get to the job site, and I get out of the truck. He goes, "Oh, hell no. You stay up there." I said, "No, I got to share this with everybody." He goes, "Don't." Do I listen? No. I get down there, and they're looking for a gas line.
I have the most interesting friends.
We're about to kill Brandon Sapp. Oh, he's laughing so hard he can't stop. Oh, but the problem is they get to hitting, they're pecking around, and then they finally, foreman goes, "Damn it, you drove a pick through the gas line." Derek turns around and goes, "No, that's little Joe. He shit his pants." They made me sit in the truck the rest of the day. They would not let me out.
You lucky they didn't weld the doors shut and the windows closed.
I will say this as a piece of advice.
Yeah.
If you ever have a car with leather heated seats, do not let one rip. That is about the same as letting one go in the shower. It instantly ferments.
All right, I'm going to chill on myself.
Oh, God.
Today's not been a good day for Richie's tummy.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what I ate. When I had my bowl of cereal this morning, I had my Lactaid. Didn't really have issues until just after the first of two meetings that were supposed to be back to back, but we ended up having a half-hour gap between them. So went out, talked to Misty for a couple of minutes, and I'm like, oh, tummy's not feeling too good. Started hustling down the hallway. Well, Mount Vesuvius starts to erupt before I have a chance to get into the bathroom, so I hop into the shower, clean myself off, and then, do a quick shower to get ready for the next meeting. I'm 3 minutes late for the next meeting. Hop in, someone's like, where have you been? I'm like, biological issues. We'll leave it at that. So thankfully that meeting was very short because round 2 erupted right after that, and I had to duck into the child's bathroom in the hall. And again, didn't quite make it. So twice within an hour, I had to take showers because of biological issues today. And it's Misty went to go lay down later in our bedroom. And of course, the first mishap was in our master bath. So she had the door shut, the fan on in the bathroom, and the candles lit because it was just so horrible.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, people are deathly afraid to ignite anything around one of mine.
I can't imagine why.
Of course, John's just sitting there going, oh, I was in the Army. I got stories to tell.
Yeah, I'm just not even going there.
Hey, we know that John is your pickled egg supplier.
Yep.
He is not innocent.
By the way, I just ate the last one. So I'm out again.
You seen the
Define
price of eggs
just.
lately?
No shit.
Oh.
Hell, there's one used car dealership that'll trade you a car for 3 dozen eggs. I want chickens.
I went to Tractor
You
Supply
want
today,
chicken.
and they've got that huge display of chicks. So,
How much are the chicks?
I did not look, actually.
Well, you remember we were looking the other day, and they want like $35 for a.
Yeah, it depends on what kind. They've got all different kinds of breeds. So.
I'm trying manfully not to make a joke. Oh dear. $35 for a chick. Okay.
Yes, you did, Carl, and you're laughing just like we are.
Oh, dear.
I was watching something, I've been watching YouTube about how to raise chickens. And this guy says, get you 3 black chickens. No matter what you've got, get 3 black chickens and put in with them. And the hawks will leave them alone. At a distance, a black chicken looks like a crow.
Hawks and crows do not get along that well, no.
Of course, I was watching as I was coming down. Well, John, you'll know where I'm at. Hickson Pike, from the train bridge past Bilo into the curve, Padrinos.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I was headed out towards Northgate, and I saw this hawk sitting on top of the one of those little billboards right there. It was the one on the left side. Crow's just tearing his head up. And all of a sudden, I saw him duck down and lean, then jump up in the air, flap 2 times, and grab that crow by the damn neck and twist his head. And then dropped him. And watched it just flutter to the ground. The other crows left him alone at that time.
Yeah, they
Apparently,
talk to each other.
10 chicks will cost you somewhere between $32 and $40
Oh, 10 chicks. Okay,
for
that's
10.
all right. 10 chicks.
Yes, Richie, I know.
But are they cute?
Yes.
And in the end, you might still end up choking your chicken.
Yep. Yeah, Zach, Brandon, 10 chicks at the same time. That's fun.
Bow. Chicka. Wow, wow.
Remind me again how I got roped into this in the first place.
Brown cow. Of course, Carl just went completely off the rails.
Those must be the ones from the sorority, Carl.
And for Brandon, since he's driving, Carl said cute chicks cost you more downtown. Oh, poor Rich is like, oh, what have I done?
No, I'm trying to behave.
Useless effort, my son.
And the thing is, you might still end up with some cock in there.
Ah, there it is.
And he falls down all by himself, perfectly landing.
And I'll be right back.
He's going to make reservations for the green room for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, now, you do realize that Drinking with the Davies comes back tomorrow night, which means that by the time the green room starts, everybody ought to be in full flow.
Yep.
That's not exactly the way I would have worded it, Dawn, but I do understand the sentiment.
Don, you might want to be careful about telling those kind of lies near electrical appliances. You know, lightning has a tendency to short stuff out.
Ah.
Yes, you've
Yeah.
seen Phantom of the Paradise, haven't you?
Carl set it up. I'll open up the room. If I can remember. Hey, I'm not going to make any jokes like that because it's supposed to rain tonight over here.
They've been warning us about snow for a week.
So when
I
I
ain't
did
seen nothing yet. It only got down to like 30 degrees this morning.
I went and did my shopping today. So I get up, showered, and everything. Put my jacket on, go out and get in the car. About 55 degrees. You know, the frost had already melted off. Driving down the road, and first thing, stop. I'm going to get a haircut. So I pull in, get out, and I'm starting to walk into the barbershop. And I went back to my truck, pulled that jacket off, threw it back in the truck, looked in at the thermometer in my truck. 65. In 10 minutes. driving from my house to the barber shop, temperature went up 10 degrees.
And just as soon as the sun went down, it made up for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was 70 by the time I got home, but of course I got my hair cut, and went to Tractor Supply. I got the pig food, then went to Costco and did my monthly Costco run, which is mostly dog food.
I'm
Might
looking.
have to start doing that. The grocery stores are running out of pet food
Really?
in a dramatic fashion again. I mean, back when this show started, for the reason it started, there was practically no pet food on the shelves for several months. You had to go wherever you needed to go and grab whatever you could get, not necessarily what they enjoyed, just to make sure they didn't go hungry.
Well, I'm going to tell you, when you got dogs, you got to be very careful changing their dog food up.
Oh, you got anything, you got to be very careful changing their food.
I mean, you think I can rip a fart? Dear God, change my dog food and they'll run you out of the damn house.
I change it on purpose just to switch it up, because if you get them locked into that one kind of food, and then you have to change it for whatever reason, it causes a lot of gastrointestinal.
Yep. Oh. Carl, I'll tell you, if you can't find indoor cat food, head down the tuna aisle. It works just as good.
Indoor cat food.
It must have extra nutrients that a cat will get out in the wild.
Indoor and outdoor formulas have different formulations.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who the comedian was that was talking about all the different flavors of cat food. It says, how come they never have cat butt flavored cat food? Because that's what cats like to eat.
Gallagher.
Yep. Yeah, we don't let the dogs kiss us anymore because we got a self-cleaning litter box here now.
Yeah, Misty just yelled at our boy dog earlier in the week for going for what we call kitty crispies.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, they love it.
Yeah, I don't know why. And the thing is, I have to laugh because when our youngest cleans the cat box, because the cat box is in their bathroom, fucking pronouns, she just cleans it out, sifts it out, and just sticks it in the garbage can in the bathroom. And the dogs will go in to the covered cat box that actually has a spiral staircase to get up into where the goodies are. They'll do that, but they won't walk over to the garbage can and just go, and stick their head in the garbage can for some reason.
Yeah, okay. I think we've pretty much run Brandon off.
Either that or he had a wreck listening to us.
Or he got pulled over and he's going, no, officer, you have to stand here and listen to this for a few minutes.
Here, listen. You won't write me a ticket. Just listen.
Or he's just shaking his damn head like, oh my God, these guys.
And you know these people. Yeah, officer, everybody on the screen lives far away from Brandon. It's at least 2 hours to our house.
What?
And we're still contributing to his delinquency. Talk about running with a bad crowd. Um, you go online, the bad crowds just get bigger. Oh, Dawn, my sweet summer child.
Or you just stop for Taco Bell. Yes, all this.
That's entirely possible. They put them on the side of the road on purpose.
Now, I'll tell you what is just absolutely awesome. Go get you a big bag of crystals and stop at Wendy's for their chili and dip the crystals in Wendy's chili.
I think that's qualified as a hate crime, dude.
Now, I used to go down to the taco stand and get the deluxe combo burrito, and then go up to the varsity and get onion rings. Because for some reason it just seemed to go together so well.
Oh, yeah.
There's a new restaurant by us called Burger Taco. And apparently they sell a lot of burgers and tacos, and I have no idea what the hell I did with the menu because
Punchline.
Misty stopped by and actually picked it up. Well, the thing is, they picked the worst spot in the world. In the past 3 years, it's been a King Gyro, it's been a Mexican place, another Mexican place, a Caribbean place, and now it's Burger Taco. I'd be like, 5 restaurants in 3 years? Maybe it's a bad location for food.
Mm-hmm. We've got one place nearby. Lindsay jokes about it because she noticed it. It's a nice little building. Nothing wrong with it. Got room for a garage and a couple of little shops, and no place that opens up in that location lasts longer than about 4 months. And this has been going on for, as far as I can tell, 50 years.
Oh.
I don't have the slightest idea why nobody stops there. I mean, some of the shops look really worthwhile. And at the moment, there's a charity shop and a used car lot in that location. And so far, they're looking like they're going to break the record before foreclosure, bankruptcy, whatever it is that closes these places down. But it's right next to a grocery store, drug store, a Golden Pantry, Dollar General, and a Dollar. What's the other one? The one with the red sign.
Family Dollar.
Family Dollar. Thank you. They're all right there. Closer together.
Somebody drove a truck to the side of our Family Dollar.
We had that happen to the drugstore down in Danielsville, and Lindsay and I went up there like the next day or maybe 2 days later, and plywood covering up one of the sets of doors going in, and I walked in there and I tried. I really tried. But I could not keep myself from joking to the lady at the cash register. Looked like somebody decided you needed to drive through. And in that small a town, that joke had never been told before, believe it or not. Turns out they had not had any of the concrete bollards around to keep people from smashing in the door. Little old lady had pulled up and tried to park in the parking space right there at the door. And instead of putting it in park, she dropped it down into low and for some reason stomped the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, she was in a pickup truck. That thing damn near got to the cash register. So now they've got a concrete castle around there with, and I'm looking for them to put in a moat and some alligators anytime now. But you'd be very, very hard put to try and drive a vehicle in through the glass doors now. But the police report apparently said something was wrong with the car, and the little old lady thought she had it in the park, and she thought she was stomping the brake to put it into park, and
away we go.
hey, when you get an 80-year-old woman in a pickup truck that thinks the brake pedal is a gas pedal is a brake pedal, and park is low, maybe it's about time her kids started driving her around instead of these things do happen. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it when it happens to me. I'm going to get of the age sometime or another where I'm going to have to surrender my driver's license.
You're talking about those barriers, Dan?
Yep.
There is a convenience store here in town. Not only do they have the barriers, they've got the flat expanded metal between two sheets of glass because they had a gunfight in their parking lot.
Now that's reasonable. I mean, for those precautions, that's reasonable.
Now here's the thing. One guy shooting was on this side of a car. Another guy shooting, well, then there was another car beside his, and then the guy was on the other side of the car over here. Over 50 rounds was exchanged between the two.
Not one injury between the two shooters.
Shot the damn place up, but never hit anybody. I talked to one of the officers. He said they were shooting like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes, do you know why they hold those guns like that? That's how they come out of the drawer.
No, it's for movies. It looks cool. Doesn't work. Looks cool.
Do you remember that Mythbusters episode?
Uh-huh.
You know those two guys are marksmen. Firearms marksmen. They couldn't hit anything with it, turns out.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, no.
It works for certain guns, but they have to have a straight edge. It's just like using the sights, only you use one of the straight edges. Glocks and 6Rs especially, it works well with.
Yeah, no. What's the matter, Rich? Are you thinking, oh, dear Lord? We can go back to the fart jokes.
Well, I was just looking up rules for a contest for creating monsters for a company called Roll for Combat for being used in either Pathfinder or Dungeons and Dragons. So,
well, y'all saw where I posted the other day. The only clowns that scare me is the 436 in Washington, or 437 in Washington.
You know, it still pisses me off I can't claim them on my income taxes and deductions because the motherfucker's been living off of my income for a long time.
Hey, you
Damn, I
can
just got
claim
to
them.
demonetize.
You can claim them. You just have to hope the IRS doesn't audit.
Well, the IRS ought to be able to claim them too. It's using their money.
Actually, you should be able to claim the IRS for that matter.
This is true.
I wonder if you could claim what you paid in taxes last year.
Don't think so. Otherwise, everybody'd be getting money back.
No. Well, think about it. The taxes you paid last year were paid this year. The taxes you were charged for last year were paid this year as part of this year's expense.
Somewhere you've either made some accountants really, really happy, or you just wound up on another watch list.
Yep.
I was thinking more that some poor accountant's little guide just caught fire on their desk and they can't figure out why.
Column A, column B.
Kind of like, being on the job site. You watch some of the stuff the contractor does, and you just go, some poor OSHA inspector's manual just caught fire, and they're trying to figure out which job site they need to go to inspect.
All of them. Oh, no, I can't tell that story. I'll get in trouble. And no, don't ask me. It's one of those things where consider it an NDA. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say that occasionally I witness some high levels of what? It's just.
So there we were, 30,000 feet. Seeing Eye Dog, Hooker, and Cherry's Jubilee.
Yeah.
I want to hear the rest of that one.
So would I.
Oh.
I'm trying to find that comment from your publisher, Dan. Totally derailed his comments.
Which comment, which publisher?
The one I know.
Oh, okay. Well, you know both of them. It's
Well,
just the first one no longer is into publishing.
Yeah, no, this is the one that's into publishing.
Okay.
I can't even find it anymore. Oh, come on. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? You're going to love this. Oh, Admin's Car War. Okay. They asked, "Morning, y'all. I'm working on the new Car Warriors novel and need a little research help. What are some of your favorite challenges?" My response: changing the spark plugs in a V6 Fiero. That's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what he was talking about. Well, it wasn't what he was talking about. Because
Exactly. Yeah.
he goes, but I'll allow it because that is a bitch.
A buddy of mine in high school had a little old Fiat, and it came time to give it a tune-up, and then he realized that you've got to pull the engine out to be able to get to all 4 of the spark plugs. You could get to 2 without pulling the engine out, but the other 2 you could not get to. I mean, it's not disassemble the top of the block. This is yank switch, drop. And I looked at him and go, "You need a mechanic named Tony. You got a Fiat. Fix it again, Tony."
I had this one guy tell me he bought a little MG and put a Toyota engine in it. He said I had to rewire it because that Lucas wiring shit. But after I got all that straightened out, that's the best damn car I ever owned.
That's like when somebody pointed out to me that 70s era Volkswagens had Porsche engines in them. And I go, that explains all the tickets that the lady I was dating in the 70s was getting for her little Volkswagen station wagon.
Hey,
Woo!
but Dan, this guy, he put that Corolla SR5
Mm-hmm.
engine and transmission in. So you know, when somebody's, running up, racing against him, and he goes into fourth, he looks at him, and then he goes, pulls it into fifth. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, really.
Japan.
Be right back.
What's the matter, Rich?
Read John's comments.
Oh. Oh, that's too long. I can't.
There's 4 of them. Start with the first one.
Yeah.
Now here's what's funny. If you watched Game of Thrones, okay, Tyrion Lannister used to always start to the dwarf. Used to always start to tell that joke and never got to finish it because something would happen. And and strangely enough, the entire show ends with him starting to tell that joke again.
The last scene.
The last scene is him sitting at the table with the king's small council. And they were talking about how all the best brothels were burnt by the dragon. So they needed to rebuild all the brothels.
Well, Peter Dinklage was in the early 2000s remake of Lassie.
No, and I didn't even know they remade Lassie.
Yeah. It was on one of those stream channels, and I was watching it. I thought, Lassie, hey, I can, wholesome movie. Peter Dinklage picks up Lassie. I'm going, oh, dude from Game of Thrones. And he goes, what are you doing? Talking to the dog, what are you doing out here and all that? Then he looks up out the window and goes, yep, winter's coming. Actual line in the movie said by Peter Dinklage that it wasn't Game of Thrones. Winter's coming. What's the matter, Rich? You're like, oh,
That's bad.
what? Not tonight.
That's just bad.
Hey, I almost went to Buc-ee's today because I was headed in that direction. I want to get me an Easter Buc-ee.
An Easter Bucky?
An Easter Buc-ee. They've got Buc-ee in bunny ears and the bib overalls and Easter colored. Now John wants one.
No,
I
not
would
really.
I would say what did I miss, but I had
But
the headphones, the
strange
earphones
enough,
on the
I
whole
think
time.
Tractor Supply is trying to compete with Bucky's somewhat, because I noticed they've got 3 separate um, um, I don't know what you call it, not an end cap, but where they put the merchandise, the big stand where they put the merchandise. They've got 3 of them with beef jerky.
Yeah, but it's not fresh made beef jerky.
And none of it's buffalo jerky. That kind of I was actually looking and I was like, it's all beef and turkey. And
Yeah, they don't have any buffalo down in Calhoun. 'Cause I went looking for it too.
We get some about a mile and a half that away.
Shit, buffalo's actually better for you than beef. Oh, hello. Than beef.
These have caused a couple of near accidents because on a foggy morning when somebody's on their way to work that usually doesn't use that road and they're driving by and there's a herd of buffalo standing at the barbed wire fence going, that thistle looks pretty good. And they just kind of loom up out of the fog like a mastodon or something.
Yeah, buffalo's not a little creature.
No.
Funny you should mention mastodons.
Oh no, are they trying to clone them again?
They are. And strangely enough, guess where they got backing for this? The Central Intelligence Agency is backing the lab that's doing the cloning. And they want to do the mastodon and the great dodo.
Well, the dodo I can see.
Why? I mean, you know,
I do want to see them clone a woolly mammoth.
because hey, there's only one reason I want to see them clone woolly mammoths. I want to get that big rack of ribs like on the Flintstones.
And you would. That'd be about the right size.
Hey, mammoth jerky. Think about that one. See that? You know, I can remember when they first started doing cloning. You remember Dolly the sheep made the
Yes.
news?
Yes.
And then they were talking about cloning rabbits. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what we need to clone. Rabbits and sheep.
Yeah.
Like there ain't enough of them already. You want to clone something, clone a white rhino or
Something rare.
Siberian tiger, something. Yeah.
An honest politician. You know, something that's damn near extinct.
Dan, you have to have a sample before you can clone it.
Yeah, that's the
Jimmy
problem.
Carter's still
I was gonna
around.
say, it's easier to clone a unicorn than an honest politician.
Jimmy Carter's still around. Not for much longer, but still.
Hey, at least he's give us warning. It's not going to be like we wake up and go, ah, damn,
Mm-hmm.
like some of them.
And with the rest of them, it's, oh, damn, he's still alive.
Well, give it 4 more years, you can clone me.
You ain't going into politics. Tell me you ain't going into politics, please.
Oh, just the town council.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I ain't running for anything major.
I'm going to run for president. Ooh, I wonder how they would react. Run for president, get the party nomination, win the election, get up and say, no, I ain't going to do it.
We've had one of those already.
I wonder
And
I wonder how well that'd go over.
he makes you look sane. So,
No, just completely. No, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, but you got to come up with a good name, like kind of like Vermin Supreme. Uh,
I vote for Vermin every year. Shut up.
hey, I vote Libertarian. I didn't vote for him, but I do vote Libertarian. Uh,
well, when the stakes are not so high, I do confess I would I still vote for Richard Nixon. What can he now? I mean, seriously.
Hey, now I have written in none of the above.
That ought to actually be a choice,
Yeah.
a genuinely recognized political choice. If you can't stomach any of the candidates on the ballot, none of the above, and if none of the above wins, all those candidates are barred from running for the next 8 years, and everybody got to pick some new
Oh,
ones and have
eh,
an emergency election.
no, not none of the above. No confidence.
Oh, that's totally different.
Yeah. No confidence. Could you
That
imagine?
that would be individual though. You'd have to vote like for each one of them. No confidence.
Well, if you write in no confidence, that pretty much says all of them. I wonder how they would react to that one.
Don't know. Dawn sent a Facebook link to me. Oh.
And I think he's succeeding, Carl.
Haha! You almost got the claw.
I've got to make sure my cats don't sneak in here anymore. Carl's too damn quick on screen grabs. Either that or he just pulls it up on replay.
He just pulls it up on replay.
Okay.
Maybe a little column A, column B.
Oh.
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 So this drone was flying around doing reconnaissance over
Oh,
the Black Sea. And some Russian hotshot fighter jock came in there and tried to do everything he could to take down that drone without actually shooting it down. Now, dumping jet fuel on it and trying to get the engine exhaust to ignite it was kind of
original.
Yeah. And then, of course, apparently somehow or another he hit the propeller. I'm curious to know what it did to his plane.
They're not going to tell you that he punched out about 10 miles later.
I don't know. It just depends on what he hit it with. You know, did he drop his landing gear and hit it with a wheel, or?
I don't know. Now, from what I've been reading, you can just about take out a Russian fighter jet with a frisbee. I mean, they're not building them like they used to.
Well, it was a Su-27, which is a little bit bigger than your average fighter plane. Not much, but it's on the large side.
It's about the size of an F-15.
Right, which is a big plane too. But there's all sorts of pieces of that plane you could hit a propeller with and not really do a heck of a lot of damage to the plane. Um, it's just flying slow enough to hit a drone. That would be the real trick. So that's why I'm thinking maybe he hit it with his air brake or something.
Well, no, he hit it from above.
Yeah.
Now the thing is,
So he probably hit it with landing gear.
well, the thing is, all that fuel he dumped, I wonder if he had enough to get. Well, he probably, like I said, he punched out.
Well, they were right. They weren't too far from their base. It was right off the coast of Sevastopol, which is the big Russian military naval air station.
Yeah.
And the Su-27s in that area are probably old carrier aircraft from back in the days when their aircraft carrier was based there.
Aircraft carrier singular.
No, they actually built.
They actually had two?
They had 2.5.
2.5.
One got sold to China. One is currently undergoing renovations up in Murmansk or wherever. And the other half is still sitting there at Sevastopol. They never finished it. And,
Yeah, we're fixing. What's the new one? G.W. Bush is already been. It's safe now.
Gerald Ford is the one that's just got put out there.
I thought it was Ford class.
It is. It's the lead ship of the class.
Okay, I figured. Of course, the Reagan was out there, and
yeah, it's a Nimitz class though. It's not an unusual class. Well, unusual is wrong word.
Reagan is Nimitz class.
Yes.
It's the last Nimitz, right?
I'm not sure. I can't remember if Reagan or Carl Vinson. Hang on a minute.
I know the new one has an electromagnetic launcher.
Right.
It's not a steam catapult.
So many steampunks are just going, oh, they dropping us again. Sometimes the technology is just so good you keep on using it for the next 500 or 600 years.
Oh, George W. Bush was the last of the Nimitz class carriers.
Okay.
And before that was Reagan. Before that was Truman. Before that was Stennis. Vinson was 70. Boy, that one's 7. That one's way back there.
Yeah, because I remember that from back when I was in high school.
I must have been thinking about Stennis.
So Ford is the new class. Okay.
The Gerald Ford class.
Well, you better watch out. It may fall down the stairs.
Let's see.
Oh, I got a little finger shake from Facebook.
Just one?
Yeah. I said, President Biden falls down the Air Force One steps again and posted the video of Ford.
Oh.
False information.
They currently have, of course, Gerald Ford just got commissioned, and it's actually active as of, 2 weeks ago? Something like that.
Oh, so it's
fully operational, supposedly. And
it's
then
fully operational.
And the next one will be John F. Kennedy. And it got laid down in 2015. It's already been launched. It was launched in 2019, and it is scheduled to be commissioned next year, and it's currently fitting out. Let's see. Enterprise was laid down in 2022.
They're building another Enterprise?
Yes.
Good.
It is scheduled to be launched in November of 2025, and it is scheduled to be commissioned in 2028. And then the next one will be the Doris Miller, and everything on it is scheduled, but it's scheduled to be laid down in 2026. And then there's another one that doesn't have a name yet that's scheduled to be laid down in 2027.
It'll be named for an admiral.
I don't know. Let's see. Ford replaced Enterprise. John F. Kennedy is replacing Nimitz. Enterprise will replace the Dwight D. Eisenhower. And then Doris Miller will replace Carl Vinson. And then whatever the next one is they haven't named yet will replace the Theodore Roosevelt. So it might be named after another president.
I know what they need to name it.
Me too.
Millard Fillmore?
No. The Tom Kazansky.
If I could pick a name, it'd be Reprisal. Just because there was a.
No,
there
you
was-
know who Tom Kazansky is?
He's a writer. Does military sci-fi fiction.
No.
No, that's
That's right.
oh,
Ice.
Yeah. Val Kilmer's character in Top Gun.
Oh,
Iceman. Admiral
and-
Tom Kazansky.
And he was named as an admiral.
In Maverick, yeah.
And didn't he get an honorary commission?
Kilmer?
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, as soon as you said Tom Kazansky, I knew exactly where you were going.
Hey,
No, I didn't wear out 3 copies of Top Gun on VHS in high school.
that would. But do you think that would be cool to name it after him?
oh, I can't say that anywhere at any time.
Either him.
you know who they need to name it after? You know who they need to name it after? Plain and simple. Jimmy Carter.
That would be honorable.
Because A, he was in the Navy. B, he was a president. And C, it'd be nice if he lives long enough to see it. So,
Yep. Although it'd be more appropriate if you named one of the hospital ships.
Yeah.
A ship that did good deeds.
Yeah.
Rather than went out and blew people up.
Well,
that could be a good deed.
you know,
Depending on the
agreed,
people.
but-
Yeah.
Richard Dean Anderson is an honorary 2-star general in the Air Force.
Because of Stargate.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to know about that.
Yeah, we know about everything.
Classified.
We're fandom. We know about everything. We started the petition.
Hey,
Um,
and they just repainted the door of Stargate Command at NORAD in Cheyenne Mountain.
Now, no, you can't do that, Daniel. Shut up.
No, they're rebooting the series. Not rebooting the series. They are
Revisiting.
continuing the series on Amazon Prime. So, the Air Force has refurbished the door and repainted the door to Stargate Command in Cheyenne Mountain. You didn't know there was a Stargate Command in Cheyenne Mountain? Rich has got that dumb look on his face again, like, huh? Joe's waiting for the punchline.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for the punchline.
It's a broom closet. But there's rumors that there's a secret combination when you enter the keypad to it. You open it once, it's a broom closet. Close it, enter another keypad number, open it. It's the entrance into another hallway.
Did you ever see the movie The Andromeda Strain?
Yes, that's a very good movie. I didn't like the remake.
Me neither. I love where they drove all the way out to the alfalfa farm in the middle of the desert, or soybeans, whatever it was. And they went into the agricultural station. And the guy lets them in. They go down to the supply closet. Guy closes the door, reaches over, hits the secret switch, and the floor drops out. It's an elevator.
Mm-hmm. That's not unusual. Seriously.
Well, that's like a haunted mansion in Disney World, where the room stretches.
So there's a bar in Milwaukee. So long ago, you would walk into like this walk-in freezer, swipe a card, and it would take. Well, you walk into the delicatessen in front, swipe into the walk-in freezer, swipe a card, and you would end up in the bar behind.
Is that the speakeasy place or something like that? Or
The Safe House.
Safe House.
Nowadays, it's another bar in front. Both bars are owned by the same company. You go in, you sit in a special booth, you swipe your card, and it spins around, lets you into the bar and back.
They got that club down at Disney World.
The club 33.
Club 33.
So the actual entrance to the bar that's behind is down an alley. You walk into a Chinese laundry. You talk to the person. You say a special catchphrase, and they flip a switch. You walk in through the back of the bar. If you don't know the catchphrase, or if you are with someone who is a VIO, very important operative, and they show a certain side of their card, they get to walk in with no problem, but the guests that they point out have to sit out front and are forced to do silly, goofy things like you would see on like Whose Line Is It Anyway type stuff. Meanwhile, everyone in the bar is watching on these monitors the stuff that the goofy people, or the goofy stuff that the people are doing.
Oh,
Now, I just had a thought. I'd be the one that does the stupid, goofy tricks. Make it inside, sit down at a table, sitting there enjoying, and some asshole on the other side of the wall swipes his card and smids me back out into the other bar.
They had something like that at Ripley's, believe it or not, up in Gatlinburg, where they had this mirror and everybody'd walk by and they were making faces in the mirror and stuff like that. And you'd walk around the corner and down a hall, and when you got there, there'd be a
One-way glass
video screen that was like showing everybody doing the goofy stuff on the at the mirror, and you realized that you were one of them that was there a few minutes ago.
Two of my favorite things about the Safe House is they have a phone booth that you can go into that you can call whoever you want, and then you can press these buttons so there will be different background noise. You know, like you're at the game or you're at, you know, whatever. So basically it's an alibi. No, honey, I'm at the hospital, you know, and then you hear hospital sounds in the background, stuff like that. Then there's this other phone booth that is the secret exit from the bar. Now, one of the most interesting things that have happened to me in my entire life has happened there. Actually, two. One, I found out Lou Ferrigno's a dick. Me and my best friend. So I am 6'4", and at that point in time, 500 pounds. My best friend was 5'11", and probably pushing 4 at that point in time. We're sitting there drinking, having fun at the bar. Lou Ferrigno trips into us, nearly sends both of us to the ground, spills his drink all over the back of us, and neither he nor his handlers apologized to us.
That's what tasers are for.
But now for a interesting, cool thing. So me and a friend of mine were at the back bar, because there's actually 3 bars in the safe house. Because a friend of ours was bartending back there, so we're sitting back there talking to them. And at that point, there is a ramp that goes down, because there's another way to get into the front bar for them to go ahead and move stock back and forth easily, which was through the world's largest moving puzzle, which was right behind where I was leaning at the bottom of the ramp. And Anthony Daniels comes in, and there's one of the booths that has an autographed picture of Mark Hamill hanging in it. So he goes and he looks at it, and then he wanders away. Then a little bit later, he and his entourage are seated not far from where we're standing talking to the bartender. And after a little bit, Anthony Daniels actually gets up, walks over, looks at me. He's like, I need you to stand over there. Points to the other side of the bottom of the ramp. I walk over there. He's like, huh. He's like, all right, now stand up here. So I go to stand up next to him where he pointed to. He's like, just what I thought. You're weighing that entire side of the bar down. I'm like, dear mother of God, I just got dissed by Anthony Daniels, C-3PO, the mincing homosexual goldenrod himself. You know, it's like, oh, I really needed aloe that night, but he let me get a picture with him, so that was really cool. So he was a really nice guy. Other than that initial, and I'm just like, oh God.
Have you ever seen this one picture on the internet where the guy passed out at his table at the bar, and Tom Hanks sat down next to him, grabbed his phone, and took a selfie with him, and the guys passed out on the table, and Tom Hanks said, "Hey."
And he told his friends, "Don't wake him.
Don't wake him up.
Let him wonder what the hell happened."
Well, how about the one that the guys from Sandlot saw this kid wearing a
Wearing a
shirt?
shirt with "You're killing me, Smalls."
You're killing me,
and
Smalls.
his picture on it. So he went over and he took a selfie with them, and they didn't know who he was. And he was Smalls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Kid didn't realize who it was until the actor posted it on social media, and it took off, and they're like, kid, can you imagine his life went to hell?
because Smalls was killing him. I mean, that's you know, I've often wondered about that. Who is one of the coolest celebrities out there to hang out? You know, just like, you know, just, but you know, like you go to Dragon Con, you go to the con, you're having a really good day, you're tired, you're hungry, you go to Waffle House, and there they are in Waffle House. You know, that's
Bill Murray, probably.
Keanu Reeves, I hear, is just super polite. He may be a prick, but he's super polite as he's a prick.
How are you super polite and a prick at the same time?
Takes skill.
like you don't do autographs. You know, Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, but I don't do autographs. Sorry.
Yeah, no autographs, please. But yeah, we'll do a selfie, and when he takes a selfie with you, he never touches you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I told y'all the story of meeting Henry Winkler.
Oh, go ahead,
Is that-
Jeff.
Ow. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach, shoot him a link real quick, Discord or whatever, as I tell the story of meeting Henry Winkler. Super nice guy, works his own table, doesn't have a handler. He's got a handler that just sort of stands off to the side. And
Hey, Zach, I'm sending it to your Facebook.
he when he walks up to greet you, you're standing in the cattle line, and he works that whole area. And he'll walk up to you as you're standing there and says, "Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. Glad to meet you. Your name is," and you tell him your name. He goes, "Just a second. I'll be right with you," to the people standing behind you. And then walks you over to the table, shows some of the stuff, the little pictures that he's selling and all that. And then, you got to pay for a selfie with your own phone. Of course, I paid for my picture with the funds. John and Dan know this. I am vertically challenged. When I went to take the picture with Henry Winkler as me and Donna,
Now, he's your height, ain't he?
no, I looked over his head at my wife. I said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." He goes, "What? I said, "I'm sorry, you are one of my childhood idols. There's no way in the world I can be taller than the Fonz." We both squatted down to where our heads were, eye line was his shoulders. They took the picture, and you could see him laughing.
So you're saying he's like what, up to my belly button?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Henry Winkler is like 5'1.5" with heels.
How many heels does he hang around with?
Yeah, but I want to know how Richie's going to get that picture of the Fonz out of his head that's wearing heels and a leather jacket.
No, what strikes me is
Oh, you forgot the fishnets.
The Fonz is my wife's height.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Oh.
Oh, watch this. Hey, there's Zach. Let's get Zach in here. Alexa, how tall is Henry Winkler?
Henry Winkler is 5 feet 6 inches tall.
Bullshit. If Henry Winkler is 5'6", I am 5'9" at least.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Hey, Donna.
Okay.
Donna, his name is Jason Carter. Is the actor that played Marcus on Babylon 5. And yes, he is a nice guy and partied really hard.
Now,
I have quite a few con stories of the Babylon 5 crew. So that's...
Oh, Galron? Oh. Yeah, Galron was at Dutch's Fantasy Con. He was the last paid actor that Dutch ever had, because he was supposed to be signing autographs and all that. And Dutch walks up and goes, "Where's, so and so?" Handler sitting there and said, "He's at the aquarium." Yes, the star left the convention to go to the aquarium during autograph session.
During a scheduled autograph session.
Yeah.
You have dishonored your house.
You
Down in
dishonored
state-
this convention.
You have brought dishonor to the house of Gowron.
Who is playing General Hammond on Stargate SG-1, is just a really, really nice guy.
Don Davis.
Ran into him twice, not counting at the table, so total 3 times in one Gen Con. Once he stopped by just to talk just after he was done doing a hosting gig for the block party. I don't even remember if the block party was that year. I think it was supposed to be some type of boxing match or whatever. Stopped and talked with a bunch of us. The next day, I was at a table looking over some swords, and all of a sudden behind me, I hear, "Gonna buy yourself some big knives?" And I just kind of moved out of the way, trying to let the guy in behind me. And I turned and I looked, and I'm like, "Oh, it's you." So talked to him for a little bit there. And then on Saturday, my best friend and I actually went up to him at the table as he's signing autographs. And he's just chatty as all hell, talking about, Dick likes to go whitewater rafting. That's why this happened and this happened. And, I mean, just a really, really, really nice guy. It's a sad thing that he's gone now.
Yeah. Now we got Zach in. Did you see that thing that showed guest destinations? See, I don't know.
Huh? What you talking about?
You can actually stream this show
To your Facebook
Oh,
or my
Yeah.
to your YouTube channels. I know you'd never want to do that, but
Yes.
No, not with this crew.
We like our monetization.
Now there was the first year I went to Hallowcon that I accidentally started a running joke, and it kind of took over. I heard it a lot that weekend, and
Which
not first time I walked up to see John, and I go, "I thought you were taller." And I heard that to the people were saying it to each other all over the place. It's like they overheard me and John.
You look taller on the video. Okay. Even right now, you look taller than me, but that's just because you're closer to camera. I think that's correct.
I don't know. I'm basically 5'11", so
So you're saying I should get a green tunic, adopt a green midget, and paint myself green and walk around carrying corn the entire time when I come down to Hallowcon.
Nope. You need a Holocaust cloak and a wheelbarrow, because at Hallowcon wheelbarrows always come in handy.
yeah,
Why didn't you list wheelbarrows and our assets when I was asking? Didn't think about it.
Where did we leave the wheelbarrow? With the albino, I think.
Zach, you know what we need wheelbarrows for at Hallowcon?
I can imagine.
Get the drunks to their room.
Oh.
That was only a threat, Joe, and you kept leaving your room after we put you in it.
Yeah.
No, we used to use a catapult, but we missed once, and they won't let us use the catapult and put the drunks back in their room.
Well,
The very Wile E. Coyote minute.
this happened to me at Chattacon. My
That's
friends
what you get for getting drunk at Chattacon and when I've got a catapult.
and my friends say when I get to drinking, I bend space and time.
You bend the laws of physics. Of course, you don't have to be drunk to do that. You do that normally.
What happened is when I had the paranormal team, we were up in
Thank you for the confirmation, Chris.
yeah, Chris.
No, Chris put Joe Dog in his room 3 different times, and Joe Dog kept showing back up in the con suite going, hey, is there any more of that statesman left?
Yeah. John, you remember building 3. It's what, 5 floors, 6 floors?
5.
5 floors? I was left at a party on the 5th floor. Marcus and the bunch headed to the con suite. They went down the elevator and walked to the con suite. I greeted them at the door. Don't know how I got there. What, Dan?
Some people are so self-centered, light bends around them.
Well,
Oh, I am stealing that line, just so you know.
Dan, by the way, building 3, this was at the Choo Choo.
Uh-huh.
Building 3, the one that had the
Had
U
the-
shape. And con suite was the track 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow I got from 5th floor to the con suite before they could walk the distance. Blitzed out of my mind.
Was LibertyCon? I mean,
Floated.
seriously, who wasn't?
So, Zach, you heard about the new spacesuit.
Uh-huh.
I take it you're as thrilled with it as I am.
It looks amazing until you learn that 1, it'll never be black because it has to be white for the moon, and 2, that everything that we are seeing there is not the real spacesuit because they put a cover on it designed by the person that did the spacesuits for all mankind to hide the proprietary design of their spacesuit.
Okay, didn't know that.
So if you remove both of those things, sure, I love it. But why show it to us in black if it's never going to be black?
Yeah.
Well, you can't have black on the moon because it would absorb heat too much, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you definitely don't want it when you're doing an EVA because nobody can see you. You know,
I just don't get why they made it in black. Like, it's totally a PR thing. I mean, the front of every newspaper in the country online was NASA unveils new spacesuits, and it's black.
Now, if it had a black cover that you could wear when you're inside the spacecraft to keep it from getting scratched and dinged and stuff like that, that would be kind of cool.
But you don't wear it in the spacecraft.
Well, you do when you put it on.
Well, I mean, I guess that.
You know, you got to go through airlocks and stuff.
No, these ones you put on at the, well, from what we're understanding, you put on at the door because you get in them from the back now.
Like the old Russian suits.
Yeah, and then the backpack just closes and you're in.
Yeah, I always liked that design. The backpack's on a hinge, so the backpack opens up and you crawl inside the suit, and then they close the backpack on you. So
it's for the rovers more so. That's why they went with that, because the new rovers, you just back yourself in, and then the rover have a thing that grabs the suit, and then someone will, you can just open it and you're in the rover. So none of the dirt actually comes into the rovers. The suit stays on the outside of the rover, on the surface. So then you never risk the moon dust and stuff coming in unless you're actually properly bringing it in tubes and samples.
Yeah,
they have a problem.
Yeah, that's what they learned in Apollo, because they said that stuff gets everywhere.
There is no appreciable liquid on the moon. They say there's water. It ain't water. It's something else. But that dust, if you can imagine, it's very granular, like glass dust. And the static electricity with this stuff is crazy.
Ooh.
It's just you can't. You take a step, it's on everything. Just
I know exactly what it's like.
I
it's like sandblaster dust.
I work with
Worse.
it every day.
Now you talk about something good for sandblasting. I bet that regolith would be great for sandblasting.
Well, yeah, it's irregularly shaped and very sharp edged. If you look at it under a microscope, it's got claws, you know.
Because there's no water or wind on the moon, so there's no erosion.
Mm-hmm.
It's impact blasted crap.
Oh, and you saw Japan witnessed a meteor impact. And I'm going to tell you, they said it wasn't that big. I don't know if that looked fairly substantial.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, if you could watch it from the Earth, that's a pretty big meteor hitting the surface
Yeah.
of the moon.
I mean, it was just a giant. Oh wait, sorry, never mind.
It's okay. It's not like we're tracking a few asteroids that could impact the Earth in like the 2040s and 60s and not really doing anything about it. It's fine. We don't know that there's, Armageddon-sized asteroids that are, 1 in 50 chance of hitting us. And we're just...
Well, see, that's where we can get Starship to start orbiting it and pulling it out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Poor Dan, he's like, no.
Nope. Too many straight lines. Self-editing is a thing, and I do know that sometimes in the green room people want me to stop self-editing, but when I do, they always regret it.
I've yet to regret it.
Same here.
Oh, that's because I want to keep my friends instead of being in Hellcast again. Industrial language can be so cruel. Reminds me of a Steely Dan song.
You know how a silly putty is like silicone and boric acid mixed together?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if that could occur naturally and Earth got hit by an asteroid made out of silly putty?
Well, we just peel it off and stick it on something. We got a duplicate.
Well, no, actually, the speeds from an asteroid impact from something made out of silly putty, the silly putty would just shatter.
Be like oobleck.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's the silly putty. The harder something hits it, the more dense it is, like oobleck. Yeah, where if you just leave it sit, it'll sit there and just ooze and get into everything.
Yeah, so you're saying the asteroid wouldn't shatter, the Earth would.
No, if the asteroid is made out of silly putty,
It'd bounce, wouldn't
it? Depending how hard. Because again, the harder the impact, the more brittle.
Everything,
the more brittle silly putty is.
Everything bounces if you throw it hard enough.
Yeah.
At least once.
Now, Dan, are you seeing a Doctor Who episode coming in?
Planet of the Silly Putty.
No, silly putty asteroids hitting a planet.
That's
next year's Christmas special.
I still say when you peel it off and put it on a piece of paper, you get a 2D image. Oh dear.
Oh, and I am going to play that St. Patrick's Day song one more time when we sign out tonight.
Thank you.
So, what rocket news have we missed in the last couple of days here, Zach?
Virgin Orbit's basically bankrupt. Astra's begging the Nasdaq to keep them afloat. Relativity can't get off the ground.
Wait a minute. Virgin Orbit is bankrupt?
Yes, they just
Yeah.
announced they're suspending all operations for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, they've suspended all operations, furloughed a majority of their staff, and said, "Give us a week to give you another update."
Damn, I knew
Didn't
I shouldn't
they
have
just-
stopped buying records.
Didn't he just buy that big airplane?
Well, he bought 2 more airplanes about 6 months ago, and then somebody, I haven't verified it, somebody said that he recently pulled like $5 million out as well. But they have over 600 employees, so they're trying to get refunded. They have not had a paying customer since July 2021, 2. It's been like 18 months or something since they've had a paying customer. Because the last customer, it didn't work. So, and unfortunately, most of this is because of a $100 part on the last rocket that failed in the second stage that cost them. So a $100 part might take down a multi-10 or $100 million company.
For one of a nail.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. They're trying. They're apparently talking to a few people that are considering funding, at least to get them to possibly the next launch. They've had 4 successful, I believe it is, out of 6 flights. So like they're not doing too bad, but they're not doing great. But
Now, and you said relativity. When are they supposed to get our hopes up again?
March 22nd, we get to board the roller coaster again. But
Only days away.
Nothing like hearing hold, range violation. There's a kayak in the zone.
yeah.
Hey, Darwin Award.
Now, my question is, was he wearing a Tyrannosaurus suit? That was...
Might
You
as
think-
well have been. The pictures would have been better.
And then the other big one would have been Astra. They announced today that they're filing for an extension with the Nasdaq. So Astra, since last August, has been below $1 a share on the market. Which, if you're below that for 30 days, you become you're not meeting guidelines.
Junk
you're-
bonds.
Yeah, you're given 180 days to get at least 10 days above the dollar mark. That ended, I think, tomorrow or next week. So they've applied for another 180-day extension, which they're allowed to ask for. And they're looking at other funding options as well. But it sounds like, based on what they've talked about, they're going to do a reverse stock split and consolidate their stocks to force their dollar value over $1. That way, for sure, they'll do it. But
Well, I'll tell you what they need to
Or
do.
they
is,
could hold a bake sale.
They need to do another. They need to do another one of those slide launches.
That's what their stock's doing right now.
Sliding.
Sliding to the side. It's
Yep.
at 41 cents, I want to say, or something.
Joe, Rich, what I'm talking about is they did a launch up in Alaska. Thank God the gate was open.
Legitimately, the gate was open, and the rocket didn't go up. It went whee out the gate and then burned enough fuel that it could go up. Legitimately, the gate was left open. Otherwise, it would have hit the gate and tipped.
Hey guys, we just invented a hovercraft.
Yeah, they have
No.
not had a good run. And now they've scrapped Rocket 3 and are going full to Rocket 4. But they lost some of NASA's payloads, and NASA wasn't happy. So
Yeah.
Oh.
You can only lose so many NASA payloads before they go, guys. I need to talk to you in the office.
Well, Rocket Lab gladly went, we'll take it.
Oh.
trying to think what else there's been. I feel like there's been a lot of news just doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't. That's the
I
thing.
remember when I was doing my armchair rocket science when that second stage they did the hot swap and realized the second battery wasn't plugged in.
Yeah. Oops. Other space news would be Amazon revealed its competitive dishes for Starlink. So their version, they're going to actually have 3 versions, and they're going to have one the size of an iPad for people to take in their backpacks. We don't have prices yet, but if that works, SpaceX should be scared. There is.
Well, you got to put some satellites up first.
Well, you got to do that first, but yeah.
No, it's Amazon. They don't have to put anything up. They just sell the dishes.
Yeah, it's outsourced.
Yeah, really. $1 million a piece. People will buy it. I mean, people still buy.
Well, they're saying
iPads.
they're supposed to be the little backpack disc is supposed to be what? Manufacturer cost is under $200.
See, the normal one will be $400. I'm not sure we got a number on the small one, but that would make sense if they want to get it around $200. So their hope would probably be to sell the miniature one around $400 or $500 for the unit, or they would probably look at doing an option like Starlink is starting to do, which is a monthly option on the equipment, but then you never own it. So you can rent, like in the UK now, you can rent a Starlink dish for £15 a month, but then you're still paying like £140 a month for the service, but you don't have that like upfront barrier of like £800 or £900 for the dish. So they'll probably look at doing something like that. And then they have the big one, which is for commercial, which their hope is to get a gig up down, possibly even on it. But so we'll see if it works. If their satellites work, their strategy makes sense, and is, I would say, more competitive than SpaceX's.
Yeah,
but that involves their constellation working.
I do have one more space news. What did Ellie do to break her leg?
Bouldering.
So it sounds.
It's like rock climbing, but with just large rocks, not mountains.
So she was at an indoor climbing thing. She was on a stream earlier today, and she was saying that her leg had been bugging her for a couple weeks. She had been going pretty frequently with like Crew 6 and stuff. She went bouldering, place she's gone many times, a run on the boulders that she's done. And at one point you have to like move over to move up, and you have to put your leg up. And she put her leg up, and she put her hand, and I guess didn't grab it, and she heard crack, crack, and then she was on the floor on her other leg, and she destroyed her femur. So she now has a rod the length of her femur.
So, yeah, she showed the X-ray. It was
and that's like the hardest bone in the body to break.
Yeah.
So she said, hey, and it's time. Dan just gave us the signal. It's time to say good night, everybody.
Oh, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Well, bye-bye.
We'll see y'all Saturday night, and those hanging around, head over to Dan's channel. We'll talk to you later. Good night.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Danny boy, oh Danny boy, oh Danny boy, oh Danny boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh Danny.